the more problems you have at a younger age, the better you learn how to deal with them as you go older, right? I'm sure that's just kind of common sense, but it's just really up to what your end goal is and what you're trying to accomplish. If you make easy choices, you're going to live a hard life, but if you make hard choices, then you're going to live an easy life.
All right, guys, we are here on the KR27 podcast, Entrepreneur Experience, and I have with me, I've known this guy for close to a year almost, which is kind of funny because he's pretty young. You guys will see. But how you doing today, Nathan?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just have some breakfast. You know what I mean? Come onto this podcast, get some stuff done, do some sales calls.
Sounds good, man. Busy day for you today, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate you making some time for you to be here, dude. Love to hear everybody's story. Love to talk to different people all the time, and it's always fun. I always have a good time doing this, and hopefully, for you guys get some clients out of it, right? People may want to talk to you guys to hear the podcast. Super excited. The podcast has grown a lot. We're starting to get hundreds of listeners now, all over the U.S. and. Anybody that's listening to this, if you guys love what we're doing, love any of the episodes you've heard from us, you can share. Love it. Appreciate it. Anyways, let's move on. Nathan, so I know you have a marketing agency and you are in what niche?
I'm doing the solar industry. That's what I'm in.
Solar industry. Okay. How long have you been doing that for?
I've had my marketing agency for about, I'd say maybe a year and a half now.
Okay. Awesome. So, what were you doing before the marketing agency?
I was in 10th grade.
I told you guys he was young.
Yeah.
Tell everybody how old you are, Nathan.
I just turned 18 a couple of months ago, but I started my agency when I had just had my 17th birthday. So it's, I'm still relatively new to it in the grand scheme of things, but that's my experience thus far.
So tell me more about, which is crazy, guys. I know I think a couple of episodes ago, I had a 22-year-old on here. So now Nathan's probably the youngest guy I had so far. And I think it's amazing because, the younger you start something, the more I think you have less fear to do things, right? And I think Nathan knows that. Am I correct?
Yeah, dude, it's really good to be able to deal with problems and stuff at a young age because, I still probably haven't realized it to the fullest, but the more problems you have at a younger age, the better you learn how to deal with them as you go older, right? I'm sure that's just kind of common sense, but dealing with, client fires, right? People yelling at me, all this stuff. I know there are 20, 30-year-olds who can't handle that kind of stress. So just knowing like, I'm going to be able to just handle and have the mental capacity to tank anything that comes my way. I think that's a pretty good skill set to have.
I remember when I met Nathan, he had a client that was just going off of him through text message, blowing up on him on email. Never called you though, but always was just beating you up through like text message and email, saying he was gonna get his law firm and sue him and all this and that. And I love the way Nathan handled it. He was just like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, man. It was just like I don't know if anybody listening here knows Joel Kaplan, but I talked to Joel about it, and he was just like, dude, do you need to call an ambulance right now? Like, is somebody in the hospital? I said, no. And then he asked me, is anybody's health in jeopardy? I said, no. And he's like, dude, what are you worrying about? And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, this kind of stuff happens in business. So.
Yeah, it's just part of life, dude. And I'm glad that, I want to touch a point real quick on, I want to touch upon something you mentioned right now, which was a lot of people 20, 30 years old wouldn't be able to handle those kind of stress, right? And honestly, man, anybody 40, 50 years old sometimes can't handle that stress. And there's a reason why everybody in life has different paths. Some people are meant to be business owners, some people are not. Obviously, yeah, there's an advantage when you start at a young age. But there's also and Nathan's very aware of this, there's also a lot of 18, 17-year-olds or even 20-year-olds, whatever, that have gone through that same programs that we have, they quit, right? So, I mean, you've seen that, Nathan. So, it definitely takes, you have to have that drive and I think that want, because there is people your age that have been in our group and they quit after 4 months, or they quit before they even hit the 4 months,
Yeah. A lot of business owners, they don't make money until, I think from what I know, it's like year 3, right? They're in the red until year 3. So if you're able to profit before that point, then you should be good, right? And I remember watching Alex Hormozy, and he was saying like, yeah, most business owners, they only make like $50,000 in profit. So if you're only in it for the money and you only want to make money out of it and you don't have any further goals other than just cash, then you're going to burn out really quickly. Because if you're a salesperson for somebody else, or if you take on some kind of other related job just to take on that cash, then you're going to make a lot more than 90% of business owners in the US, right? Even if you make a 6-figure income as a salesperson, that's only $8,000 a month. You're still going to be making more than most business owners make. So it's just really up to what your end goal is and what you're trying to accomplish. And I think a really important thing is having a pull, something that's going to pull you towards your goal, not just a push. Because you can keep your foot on the gas, you can keep pushing and pushing, but eventually you're going to run out of gas, right? You're going to run out of motivation, you're going to run out of like whatever, and you're going to need something that pulls you, right? Whether it be your family or any other goals that you want to hit. Maybe it's traveling somewhere. You need to have something that pulls you, so you don't run out of gas, right? And when you do run out of gas, you're still going to be able to keep going because of that end goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely right, man. That's one thing I definitely know. I mean, with me, my end goal is always my daughter, right? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows the whole business is based on my daughter. That's why I started it. And then, someone like you, because you're so young, sometimes it's harder to find that thing that you want. But for you, that's why I said it's not everybody that's your age is going to be as successful as you are, obviously besides maybe a Jared Curry. And then, it's something else you said there is this is really not a race, man. It's just like a marathon that you gotta keep going, have those goals, grow what you want to do. Nathan, when he first started the agency, I remember seeing a post saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be Justin Connor at being the best."
Shit.
I didn't forget, dude. I paid attention. I do my homework before I get on this podcast, dude.
Yeah, bro.
And and he said that. He said he was gonna be at $10,000 a month in like a month, right? And it didn't happen. But then he did get to $10,000 a month. But then he had a lot of setbacks, things happen, a lot of stuff like that. And no matter what age you are, I think those kind of things will bring you down and you want to stop. I don't think I ever heard Nathan say, "Man, I think I want to quit," or "Man, I might stop." I don't think I ever heard him ever said that. He's always doing something, always trying to figure out how to fix it, how to do it, And then, now here we are with him, almost a year later, and he's at 6 figures. And I think one thing that I like to touch base on is that you finally understand, and I think a lot of people need to understand, is that a lot of agency, you do see them blow up fast. Sometimes they do. But some don't. Majority of them don't, right? No. There's only so many people. You have maybe, I don't know, 1,000 people in the group, and only maybe 3-4 of them actually blow up real quick. Even some of the ones that are making good money now, they did not blow up fast. They took them time. And like you said, 3 years, 5 years is what it usually takes for a business to constantly be profitable. Exactly. And even in agencies like that, right? I mean, you can still, obviously we've seen what Joe does, right? He's done that real quick. But what people don't see is Joe did all these other things for like 8 years. And I think there was a post that he put on there, right?
10 years, man.
Yeah, 10 years. Everything he's done from 18 years old to 28, and wasn't an overnight thing. Yep. Yeah, he has this huge group now, and he's making pretty well money. I'm sure. I don't know how much he makes, but I'm sure he makes well money. But it's it's all part of like the time that he had to put into it, and just like anybody else, So now with you, obviously you were in high school, stuff. While other people in high school were thinking about girls playing sports, you're basically thinking about how am I going to make this business big? Am I correct?
Yeah, dude. So the only difference is that I'm thinking about business and I'm thinking about girls. No girls for me until I'm doing $1 million a year at minimum. But yeah, man. So something I actually wanted to touch on was that the people that blow up really quickly, there are two types of businesses that blow up really quickly. The first type is the unsustainable one. So they blow up really quickly, but they have no systems, they have no foundation, they got nothing in place to be able to hold them up. So their business is built on toothpicks. And if one thing goes wrong, it's all over, right? One client leaves, one of the employees, decide to leave as well, and the whole business fails. The business is built on toothpicks. That's the first type of person that blows up really quick. The second type is the person that has the skills to be able to blow up. And what I mean by that is I'll use Justin Connors as an example because he had the sales ability. I didn't know this, okay? And I didn't actually realize this until just recently, but he had the sales ability to be able to get to the point where he did 40K in a single month because he could sell. He had that previous skill set. So when I went into the group and I was like, yeah, guys, I'm going to be Dr. Justin Connors. I had no idea what I was talking about. Like, no fucking way I was going to get to 40K as a high school kid with no prior skills, no prior experience. I had no skill set when it comes to doing business, right? And that's what I had to learn. So the people that do blow up either have a business built on toothpicks or they have the previous skill sets that have compounded over time to be able to apply to any business. Right? Like they might have learned sales here, they might have learned how to do account management here. And then 3 years later, when they start a business, they have all these skill sets and they just compound together and allow them to blow up really quickly. But to obtain those skill sets, it took like years.
Right? Yeah. And another thing, I want to touch base on that too, because like I myself, like I'm someone who's been in finance and sales and all that stuff my whole life, right? But I didn't blow up quickly, right? So I know people that are in the groups, not just ours, but other groups, that have not blown up quickly and have been in sales their whole life, right? Or they're really good with systems, right? And they still haven't blown up quickly. So one thing that people need to understand, and I think I've learned to understand this, and I'm glad that, at someone your age, you understand that already, is that everybody basically has their own path. Everybody has their own path. Everybody's going to get to where they want to go when it's meant for it to get there, as long as you put in the time, I think you and I are the same in that way that like my agency just started blowing up too. It took me about almost a year before we finally got it together, started making money, I just closed a huge broker deal like last week, right? Or this week. I don't even know what they were on anymore. Every day I work, so. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that, man. I think that having certain tools, and like for someone like you, because you're so young, I guess the one tool you do have over a lot of people that are older is that you don't have as much fear. I think that's one thing I've noticed from people that I interviewed and people I've talked to. The older you get, the more fear people have. That's one thing I've noticed. Like I was one of those people. I was very afraid of like certain things. I didn't even know what the hell I was afraid of. I was just afraid to grow, And I think it happens with a lot of people, right? Now, as far as your agency now, where are we at now? Like, where are you growth-wise? What are you doing? What's going on with your agency?
So my agency, it recently just started doing really well. And I still don't have all the systems and stuff that I need to put together to be able to keep it sustainable for the long term, but that's why I'm building them now, right? So last month, I only did $800 in my agency, right? I think that was only one client. This month I did 9.86 thousand. So I 10x what I did last month. And the reason was because, this month I hired a VA and it made all the difference, right? I hired one VA. And for those of you who don't know, a VA is a virtual assistant. And I had her just doing some outreach for me. And just having that task offloaded really helped. And it helped me to focus on sales and other things. So I didn't have to just think about sending DMs all day. And I think she alone has probably accounted for half of that revenue just from the appointments that she has set. And then me just doing more work, doing follow-ups, doing calls, doing all this stuff, man. So 0 to 10K, definitely a hustle. 10 to 20, I think I'm going to start getting my account managers and systems in place, right? And then just kind of focus on fulfillment and sales. And then hire out fulfillment, teach my VA how to do it. And
yeah, because right now you're basically netting most of that, like 95% of what you're making, right? Because you're doing everything.
Yeah, my profit margins on that 9.9K are 97%. I think I paid my VA $210. So that's about 97% profit margins. But the thing is,
well, what about systems? You're paying for systems too, though, right?
I am paying. That's excluding softwares. Yeah, if I include software, if I include software, my margins are probably like 90 to 92.
Which is still pretty good. It's still really good, right? But if you want to scale, you definitely gotta.
I need to eat my profits, yeah, because the thing is, you can stay at 10K for as long as you want and take 90% profits, right? Or you can be at 30K, have a more sustainable business, and then maybe only take 50, 60% profits or even 70%, right? Which is still pretty good. But if you want to grow a business, I mean, everybody who is entrepreneur minded knows that to make money, you got to spend money, right?
Yeah.
You got to spend money on employees. You got to spend money on ads. You got to spend money on all this shit, softwares and everything.
Yeah. I mean, some of the most, you know, it's because I've been in business forever, but some of the most self-sustainable businesses, you know, that where the owner can basically walk away for a few days and the business is fine, only profit like 50 to 60% tops. Sometimes 40, right? So it's like, but then at that point, it's basically passive income because you're not really involved on the day-to-day activities anymore, right? Just
exactly
here and there, which is, I mean, everybody has their own goal.
It depends on what you want.
Mm-hmm. Like some people, I know agency owners who are happy at like $19,000, say $20,000 a month, and they do everything. They don't even have a VA. They literally, but they like to keep as much of their money, and then that's what they like. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. I'm like, that would not be me, but you know, it's like, and then I know agency owners who, you know, are making $50,000 a month, but then they really only keep like maybe 20, 25 because they have all the systems, VAs, employees, salespeople, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's how they want to run their business, and they have so much more freedom. You know,
exactly. It just depends on what you're looking for. Right?
Yeah,
it's a trade-off, and it's going to be up to you to determine what you want to trade. If you want to trade your time, then you're going to make a lot more money. But if you want to trade your money, then you're going to have a lot more time. So it's really simple, right?
Yeah. What about future goals? Like, what's your goals for like the next 6 months? Because we got 6 months left in the year, starting, you know, yesterday, and then we got, you know, and then what's your goals for next year?
So my goals for this year is to build it up to $1 million a year run rate. So that's not $1 million in a month, but that's $1 million in a year. So that's to go from where I am right now, $10,000 a month, and then going up to $83,000 a month in the next 6 months.
Okay.
Quite frankly, I have no idea how the fuck I'm going to make it happen, but I know that I'm going to be able to figure it out as I go. And yeah, that's pretty much my goal. 83,000 completely automated, and just chill on like 30-40% profit margins, right?
And what about next year? Do you have goals to continue to grow the agency, or are you happy at $1 million a year, or you know, everybody's different. So what's your goal?
I'll be honest, my goals so far have only been focused around my agency, and I've always thought like the million, I know it's not the end goal, but I've always thought like the $1 million mark is where I want to go. But next year I don't really have anything clear cut and clear set, but I am thinking about getting, you know, Kendall Shaw. Is it Kendall Shaw? The guy who does the e-com stuff.
I think I've seen his name on Facebook, but I'm not sure. I have to see him. I have to look him up. I think it sounds familiar though. I think I know him.
So I'm thinking about like using some of my profits and putting it back into crypto, to stocks, right? The regular stuff that everybody wants to do. I'm also thinking about getting like an e-commerce store, outsourcing it to Kendall to manage, and then I'll just collect whatever little profits come off of the back end. But at the end of the day, it's passive income, right?
Yeah.
And then tried to get into some real estate, but at this point, man, I'll be honest, I don't really know what I want to do. Everything I do right now is focused on my agency, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. $1 million a year by the end in the next 6 months. So I think that's going to be pretty solid.
So, I know you're pretty young, man. So what happened? I know you just graduated. And for those who don't know, Nathan actually only lives about 45 minutes from me. Yeah. I can actually come see him when he's old enough. We can have a drink. But I know if I probably went and knocked on your door, your parents would be like, "Who the hell's this old ass man trying to look for you?" But as far as your friends from high school, man, do you still talk to them as much? You know, I know it's not like like you're big headed or anything, but it's just you have different goals, right? And we've talked about that with friends before. And most of you being so young, like, do you still hang out or talk to a lot of your friends from high school, or not as much?
Not as much, man. I'll be honest. Like when I see them, sometimes I go to the gym and I see them, right? I'll say hello. But I only have like 1 or 2 people that I see maybe like once every month or every few weeks. And they're going to go off to college soon anyway, right? But the thing is that like, I realize, you know, I like my high school friends. It's not like there's nothing wrong with them. But when we hang out, I want to talk about business. I want to talk about money, right? I want to talk about what are your goals for the future? You know, they want to talk about baseball and girls, which nothing wrong with that, but it's just not aligning with what I'm trying to do. So recently I actually found another agency owner, and Kev, that's what I was inviting you to go do, just like come hang out for a bit, but I totally forgot. Yeah, dude. I found another agency owner that lives in Sac, and I've been hanging out with him in downtown Roseville, helping him out with his agency, which also happens to be in solar, right? He closed a client yesterday, and just hanging out. Like, I'm starting to hang out with older people, and it's kind of weird because I just graduated, so I'm not used to that kind of dynamic. But I hang out with older people now because they have older entrepreneurs, right? And when I say older, I mean like 23, 24. So like 6 years older than me, because they have the goals that I'm trying to hit as well, or very similar goals, right? Like I'm trying to open a coffee business, or I'm trying to open up a crypto thing, a marketing agency here. Like those are just a few of the examples that that my older friends do. So.
Yeah. There's a couple of things I definitely understand there. You know, definitely you did forget about me, but that's cool. Whatever. We can plan for another day. I was super busy this past week anyways, dude, so it's all good. But yeah, let me know for sure. We can hang out, like we can talk to them and stuff like that. So that'd be cool. I know when I was here, I had Aaron, but Aaron moved out of state now. So Aaron that was in
Zensky?
Yeah. He actually lived down the street from me.
Dude, what the hell? The systems guy from 7FA?
Yeah. He lived literally, and I live in a small town. I live in Galt. He lives in a smaller town than Galt, dude. So yeah, so we hung out a couple, like once or twice, I think. And then there is a couple more people not too far from here, but I don't really hang out with them, so I haven't, they're a little too far. So yeah, let me know, dude. Happy to see who else is out here that has an agency. Something I wanted to touch base on there that, I think Nathan talked about. Number one is you have to change your friends, unfortunately, no matter how old you are, right? You could be 18, 19. For Nathan, he's 18 years old. So for the fact that he sees these things already, it's amazing. This kid's going to be somewhere special when he's my age, really gonna be somewhere special, like 12 years from now.
Hopefully not 6 feet underground. I said hopefully not 6 feet underground.
No, I don't think you'll be there. You'll be very, very successful, dude. But another thing, is like he talks about changing your friends. It's good that he sees that now because yeah, man, you get a lot of people who unfortunately just don't fit in what you're trying to do anymore. That doesn't mean you don't like them. It doesn't mean that you're not cool with them. And unfortunately, sometimes those people don't understand that. They do end up disliking you because they think you don't like them or you're too good to hang out with them. But it has nothing to do with that. It's just you have to hang out with people that fit in what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
And That's something that I started doing that myself a long time ago, long time ago. And every time that I've changed where I'm going, I change the people I'm hanging out around. And you keep one or two, right, that are still cool. Like I have one friend from when I was very young that I'm super cool with, and I talk to every week, right? That's like my best friend that I still have around, and he's actually helps me out with sales for the agency now. So it's cool. Worked out, But it's you really just kind of separate yourself, and you have to separate yourself in order to go where you want to go. You want to hang out with the people you want to grow, where you want to be. And there's that saying that says, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are, and it's very true.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very true. And there's the other saying too that talks about show me your friend's net worth and I'll show you where you're gonna be at, right? And you always want to be the lowest person in that net worth, because that means you're gonna get there.
Yeah, exactly, man. I always like the saying, it's similar, but it's like, if you hang out with 4 hobos, guess who's going to be the 5th, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Hang out with 4 millionaires, guess who's going to be the 5th? And it's super true. Like I've seen myself change, like up here because of the people that I hang out with. And I don't know, it's kind of weird. This is the first time I've done anything like this or experienced anything like this, but it's fine.
You're very young, dude. You'll see. Life's gonna throw things at you. You'll go through them, and you always figure it out. You always find a way. Sometimes certain people, I think, and this is just my mindset, I think certain people are just born for certain things, and that's kind of how you go.
We got this.
But yeah, Nate. So man, you got some really good goals, dude. I'm really happy for you. I think you're gonna go, some places, dude. You're a very smart young kid, man, and you're in the solar niche. And one thing I like about what you were doing when you're hanging out with this guy is that you don't see him as competition, and that's one thing I think that I've noticed from people that are very successful is they're always want to help other people, even if they're on the same niche as them, and that's awesome, dude. The fact that you're sitting there helping someone who can potentially be hitting up the same clients you hit up,
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't matter to me, man, because there's always going to be competition, right? And I mean, if you want to go ahead and keep all the information to yourself, go ahead by all means, but that's going to close a lot of doors for you as well. And if any of you guys know who Jared Curry is, he owns a 7-figure e-com business, and he used to say, like, hey man, I made groups with people, like groups with other agency owners in e-com, to be able to network with them and collect ideas from them. It doesn't matter whether they were competition or not, because there's enough in the game for everybody, right? So I don't have a problem. I think I help out probably 2 to 3 solar agency owners on the daily. It's like the same 2 to 3 people, but it doesn't bother me because I don't know, I just don't really care, right? There's always enough for everybody.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, man. That's a mindset that people need to change. People think, oh, I don't want to help somebody because then, they're going to take away from me, or like, oh, people really don't realize how much money there's in the world. The United States literally just printed so much money in the last 12 months, and people don't realize that there's just so much money to be out there. And it's a closed-minded mindset that will hold people back. And I'm big on the fact that everybody has a life and everybody wants to live their life the way they want to live it. And everybody's meant to be at a certain point, right? Like if you're happy at a 9 to 5 and you're happy making that much money, hey, that's cool. Because I will tell you this, if I was happy at a 9 to 5, I would rather be at a 9 to 5 than doing this. It is exhausting. It is stressful. It is so emotionally draining, so up and down. It's like for 3 weeks you're like stressing out, and then in 1 week it's like everything's like, oh, everything's great, Mm-hmm. So it's definitely not always the funnest thing to deal with clients. Nathan knows that. So I mean, a 9 to 5 is, people think it's horrible, but it's really not if you're happy.
Yep.
It's probably an easier route to life and a funner route to life to have a 9 to 5 where you just get promoted and get a raise here and there all the time.
Exactly, yeah. Because having a 9 to 5 job, I mean, there have been times where I'm working on my agency and I'm like, dude, what if I just stop doing all this and then go like work a job somewhere, Because the thing is, when you clock out at a job, you're done with the day. You leave all your stress at the job. You leave all of your problems and dumb shit at the job. But when you have a business that follows you home, that follows you when you go to bed, that follows you when you wake up in the morning, it follows you everywhere. And running a business has way higher earning potential and can definitely help you to create generational wealth. But it's, 10 times harder, right? I'm sure there's a quote out there. I think I've seen it. It's like, if you make easy choices, you're going to live a hard life. But if you make hard choices, then you're going to live an easy life. And that's what, running a business comes down to, right? And nobody runs a business because they want to run a business. People run a business because they have ulterior motives, such as I want freedom, or it's like the basic stuff. Everybody's heard it, right? Do it for my family, do it for the kids, college fund, freedom. I don't have to answer to a boss, right? Personally, it's the boss when I cannot work a job. I'm terrible when it comes to working at a job, man. But
coming from an 18-year-old, guys.
Dude, yeah, I worked at a pizza job. And if you guys know Blaze Pizza, it's this pizza chain, and I was working there, and then I didn't get hours for like months, and then I come in one day and I'm like, hey, can I actually get some hours on the calendar? And she said, you're actually not on payroll anymore. Like you don't work here anymore. And nobody told me, because my boss actually got fired when he was about to tell me, so I just never got the memo. And that kind of gave me a sense of relief, like, oh, thank God, right? I couldn't get my pizza discounts no more, man, but that was the only caveat. And then I fucked off.
That was a downfall to it, huh? No more pizza discounts.
Yeah, bro, I was getting 50% off. That was good. But,
dude, I'm gonna tell you a secret to that, dude, is you always make friends with someone that works at that place.
Dude, yeah, always. Whenever I got a friend working there, bro, damn well I don't even get the discount. I just get that shit for free.
That's the way, man. That's the way.
Then I fucked off, went home and closed the deal. So,
dude, That's awesome. Dude, that's great though, man. I'm really happy for you, Nate. I'm happy what you're doing. Mostly at such a young age, man. It's really, really impressive. I know you talk about Jared and what he's done, which is also very impressive. He's 19, 20, something like that.
He turned 19 in November, or he just turned 20, one of those numbers.
Yeah, so he's like 19 or 20, but he's running a 7-figure business, and that's very impressive, like, whoa, super impressive. But, it's like you said, man, and like we talked about earlier, everybody has their own path, and you're only 18, dude, and the fact that you're doing it too, and you're not quitting, you're gonna get there,
Exactly,
it's amazing, man. I'm super happy for you, man, and I think you have great things coming. Now I know you're in the solar industry, so if anybody needs solar leads, or if anybody wants to connect with Nate, you want to share some information where they can find you?
Yeah, you can just type in my website, www.doanmedia. It's just my last name and then the word media.org. Or you can find me on Instagram, just nathan.doan. Reach out to me, shoot me a DM, and then I can get you guys set up. And another thing I wanted to touch on as well is that a lot of business owners, they want, and this kind of ties back to the beginning of the call, but a lot of business owners, like 17 to 20-year-olds, they want money like this. They want fast money. And that's not the case. I've been slaving away at this for maybe a year before I actually started to see some success, real success, not just like, I signed on a bunch of clients and now I don't know what to do, right? Like I have systems in place, although they're not amazing, but going back to it, Joel, for his agency, he took 4 years before he was able to be proficient in it and make whatever the hell he makes. Jared, same deal, it took him 4 years, right? And I think there was a study done where it showed that to be able to be proficient in a field and actually master that skill, in business at least, you have to be doing it for 4 years, right? And so if I've only been doing my agency for about a year and a half, and by the end of this year, if I'm able to get that to 7 figures, that means I would have half the time, I would have done it in half the time that I normally would have, right? Or other people normally would have. Am I going to hit my goals? I'm pretty sure I can, but I know it's not going to be an easy ride. But yeah, it's just patience, right? People want fast money, but you got to be patient if you want the rewards, man.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I completely agree with you. I think eventually you'll definitely you'll definitely get there, man. And I think you'll make it happen. And I know that's something. Yeah, we had that conversation one-on-one a moment ago, where we talked about just the way that things are with business owners and how they want things right away. And that's why some business owners that are not the best fit for our marketing services, because they want overnight success, and overnight success doesn't exist. And anybody that believes that it does, they're tripping.
Exactly. Or they're one of the few that actually get it, right? One of the 5 million, 1 in 5 million, I would say that actually see overnight success and keep it. But most of the time, that's not the case. There's always an exception, but
yeah, it's an exception to everything. But it's it's like playing the lotto, man. It's like playing the lotto. You might as well, you know what I mean? Like you can't go buy a ticket and then be like, oh, I'm gonna go buy a brand new car because I'm gonna win. That's not how it works.
Exactly. Exactly, dude.
So, no, for sure, man. We're awesome. And if you guys, for some reason, can't find Nate's information, just feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram. I mean, obviously the podcast, you guys know how to find me. And I can connect you guys with them. It was a pleasure having you, man. Super excited to see where you're going, and always happy to connect with you. And hopefully we'll hang out with you. I'll hang out with you pretty soon, and your other buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm down, man. I'm down to definitely set that up. But dude, you gotta take me to a bar and pretend like I'm 21.
This guy. Don't say that on the podcast, dude. Come on, everybody's listening. And that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, bro. Sorry. I am not that kind of person.
Oh man. I'm just messing.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you, dude.
100%, man.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Peace out.